Welcome to Championship Saturday. We're at day 4 of the Ringers Western Gold Buckle Campdraft Championship 2025, and I've got a new co-host in Roger Fitzharding. How are you, Roger?
I'm very well. I'm very excited, and what a fantastic day.
Wasn't it a great day of campdrafting?
It was unbelievable. For a dressage person and involved in other sports, I just love watching Campdraft. He's such talent. I can't believe it.
And we should tell our viewers at home that might not know Roger, because we are maybe talking to the Campdraft community or fraternity. We have Roger here, who is a dressage instructor, formal, eventer as well,
yes,
and also a long time family friend of Willinga Park.
Totally, yep. I've seen it grow from sort of next to nothing to what it is now, and it's very, very exciting.
Before we get into, we crowned 4 champions today. Before we get into that, again, from your dressage perspective, how did you find the camp drafting today?
I'm sort of a bit speechless about it, really. It just gets better and better all the time, and I don't think no matter what discipline you are in, when you see it at the top, and this is so Australian, is even more wonderful, but it's about horsemanship, about understanding cattle and animals, and about being able to ride and harmony between horse and rider. And like, what was amazing was when that guy fell off and his horse continued to follow the beast and turn it and cut it, even though he wasn't even on board. It was like, it made the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. It was so fantastic. It's a wonderful horsemanship sport.
Yeah, and it does also make it a little bit tricky when we're talking about competitors, not only being able to have that horsemanship skill to be able to ride their horse and communicate to their horse, but also essentially communicate with an untrained cow. It makes it very difficult. Let's start off the day. It was the junior and juveniles who started us off. We had Henry Mitchell riding Dreams, Royal Dreams, I should say, winning the junior, and that's always really exciting. Like, the atmosphere changes here on Saturday when people start turning up. We get spectators that might not know much about the sport. We get people who travel down to watch the sport live, and they come down, and the oohs and the ahs from the grandstand when it was like nearly getting a peg.
I know.
And it was really exciting. And I just thought about those kids, thinking about how cool is it for them. They've spent the last 3 days maybe watching their parents ride some of these horses, watching it on live stream, watching it on TV, and then coming down and riding in the Willinga Park camp draft and having the crowd support them and encourage them.
Absolutely amazing to start from that level. And the thing with camp drafting also that's really comes home to me, it's real family sport. Like, the whole family's involved in it, with their grooming or helping, whatever. And I was there early this morning. The kids all hang out, the ones that are obviously going to compete, they'll hang over the fence watching, really serious, watching who picks out what beast, etc., etc. It was fabulous.
Yes, and we also had the juveniles, which Bo Rossiter on Miss Lorena Wood running an 88, and it was like maybe the second last or last run, which again, with all the other juvenile riders, you might have already had somebody sitting on top of the leaderboard. They've got that long, anxious wait, and he came around riding his parents' horse, and Ben, his dad, actually came second on that same horse in the novice, which is a new concept. So, that horse is now coming away with a little bit of money.
I saw that horse, yeah.
Yeah, and so that was also pretty exciting. But we've got to touch on the Terry Snow Memorial Restricted Open, and that was won by Rob Leach on Hazelwood Congressman.
Oh, it was fantastic. On
a 91, and also he came out real early. He was run number 4 of about 66, and he had to sort of sit there and wait. It's just it's a shootout, so it's just a 1 round type of deal.
It was beautiful. It was really, it was harmonious. It was fantastic. That little black horse was just brilliant.
Yeah, it was, and he's a great horse. We caught up with Rob. We did a great interview with him. I reckon it's about 19 or 20 odd open drafts and stallion drafts that horse has won now. He's only, relatively young in our sport, early teens, and that was really exciting. And again, touching on the Terry Snow Memorial, to be the first rider to win that, like I said, to him, that etched his name into some history, knowing that he's taken that away. It's a beautiful bronze statue that he gets to keep, and I think that was a little bit emotional today.
It was, and I think, to see Jeanette out there by herself presenting for Terry, it was really wonderful. I mean, the family togetherness on this property is really exceptional. You know, there was Stephen out there helping present, and it's really fantastic. And it's really sad that Terry's not here to see the culmination of the amount of work he's put into it. But everyone so appreciates and have him so much in their heart in every round that goes on here. It was so lovely. It was a great way to start the day.
Well, it certainly felt like his spirit was here.
Totally.
The sun was shining. The grounds look absolutely amazing. And then, the cattle ran really true.
Yep.
But of course, it was really just the opener for the Gold Buckle, the Ringers Western Gold Buckle Championship Campdraft. And the man that's come out with the chocolates in Hugh Miles.
Oh, fantastic.
He had 5 rides.
Fantastic.
It was fantastic camp drafting. He had 5 rides coming back. His lowest score on 2 of them were 89.5.
That's amazing.
And then the other 3 were on 90s.5. I mean, it's never been done before. Never been done before. It was set up for him to win, but at the same time, as you see with other riders, you get little stumbles along the way. Huey had a couple of just camp scores,
yep.
and again I did touch on an interview with him, which we're going to actually play at the end, which we talked to him about it, like just that mental maturity. He's been second twice before. He's always in the money down here. He's really wanted to win it from the conception, and he just had that maturity to go, that's what I've got 5 for. I've got 5 for the fact that any one of these horses could win it. So I'm going to come out, and when things didn't go right, he didn't worry the horse. He just pulled up. He didn't think about, let's try to get a score. He just focused, and when it came time to him having the cow that could win it, he did.
I loved his comment in your interview. He says something about, so what's on tonight? Oh, well, we're all packed up, ready to go home because I've got horses to work tomorrow, but I guess since I've won this, I better go to the bar and we'll go home in the morning. But that's what they're like. They're real horse people, and tomorrow's another day, and today's been and gone, and we just get on with it. Their whole attitude is just so wonderful.
When we talk about his overall score, it's an 181.5. That is a massive score. I mean, people watching, if you're into camp drafting, you would understand that, but maybe you don't know a lot about camp drafting. That score would win you any camp draft anywhere in Australia. It's about as big as you can get. So that was really exciting. I'll just touch on the horse. We're talking about an 11-year-old mare. So again, that's right in the prime age for these opens, by RS Chisholm out of Whiskey Cat. So Rachel and Jason Leach had a lot of success on Whiskey Cat. She won the cutting futurity. She did a little bit of challenging, even did a little bit of camp drafting. They bred this horse, them being sold on, and the owners are going to be wrapped knowing that they've now got, like I said, a 2025 Ringers Western Gold Buckle Camp Draft champion to add to their string of horses.
On top, did I hear that he'd only had it for 3 weeks?
Yeah, and he had some success on it last week as well. So all the other horses that Hugh rode are sort of a part of his string, but he did jump on that one. He brought it down here, and he did say, a bit jovial, that he goes, I guess it's a pretty good one. Well, when it wins you 100,000, you might say
it's pretty good.
Yeah. So we'll touch on again second by 1.5 points, which doesn't sound like a lot, but in camp drafting,
it's quite a bit.
It is quite a bit. And in previous years, we've had the 3 judges come back to the 2 judges, so it's more of a 0.5 point. It has come down to a 0.3 of a point. So we've often had second place a lot tighter. But again, that was Pete Comiskey, who's formerly won it 3 times.
Unbelievable too. Like, to watch him go round is like, it's like magnet between horse and rider and beast, and it's just make it look easy.
A seasoned competitor, obviously a veteran of the sport. Like I said, he's now won it 3 times. Now comes second. When I was watching, I was at the grandstand above the camp, and close to the end, people were starting to congratulate Huey. And he was pushing him away because there's still a few riders, but it was predominantly after this run because everybody was sort of sitting by the fence or sitting on the edge of their seat, knowing that Pete had I think a 91 coming in, so he was somebody that could probably back it up, and like we said, he's a seasoned competitor. And so once things didn't quite go his plan, when I say didn't go quite his plan, he still ended up with second. That made probably a lot of people realise that it was only down to Hugh. But Huey, in respect to the other competitors and know what it's like, he just shunned them away. He shunned everybody away, waited to the end, and then he took those congratulations after that.
Let's go back and listen to who I picked yesterday.
Really? Did you call it?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Well, I sort of thought Pete Kaminsky, but it was between the 2 of them. I thought they were they're both outstanding.
They had half the herd.
Oh, look.
I mean, that's like, saying that it's really not calling the favourite,
if you don't mind.
Yeah, I wanted somebody to really narrow it down, not only just say
I
Hugh
narrowed
Miles,
it down.
Tell him and his horse. Him and his horse would have been great. But anyway,
I didn't say which horse, but I just said
yeah. And then we had third with Tim Hollis by half a point behind on Victoria on a 179.5. And again, when we talk about these scores, any of these scores could win any major open event anywhere. And then, of course, Troy Palmer taking out fourth on Looks Smart in blue. And that was a 179, so only half a point again behind, and that's just 1 point away from Pete. And that horse also featured in the maiden final, running equal second.
Correct.
So a younger horse, and I know that he was really pushing for it too. Maybe didn't have quite the horsepower that Huey had, but it made for an exciting competition. And if anybody was watching, you would have also heard Troy speak so well and congratulating Hugh, because both of them have been second before, and people might not have seen on the live stream because you're still watching the competition. But I also noticed Troy Palmer was one of the first to go over and congratulate Huey, as well as Pete Comiskey and Bryony and all these other competitors.
They know what it's like.
Absolutely. So we're going to have a quick look at a couple of those runs. I want to start first off here with Rob Leach and Hazelwood Congressman. That's his own family stallion by Hazelwood Conman. We're going to just talk quickly over this run as we have a look. And like you said, he is a nice black horse, and he's out early. He hasn't had as much luck during the show as he would have liked, but now he comes away with a championship, a buckle, and like we said, that beautiful bronze statue that he's able to take home, that's made by Jay Hall, who does a fabulous job. And as you can see, coming out of the camp, he was right there with the black cattle. These cattle have been a little bit trickier than maybe the Herefords, but he's got a beautiful running steer here, and we can see he just attacks every peg. And knowing that it's just a one round, Roger, they've got to go for broke. I don't know what the equivalent is in dressage, but this in our sport, you don't leave anything to chances.
What's amazing is that you go for broke, but less is more. They have this ability just to switch off and just canter on behind the beast, and then when it's time to move, they make a big move, and then they really relax, and then they drop the reins at the end, and the horse starts walking like, oh, another day at the office. Yeah. It's amazing.
And the other thing I want to touch on too, with these horses, because it's almost like, even though they might be entered in the gold buckle and they're restricting a couple of others, this horse also got ridden in the juvenile by his son Grant, but they also have these other finals. So these horses are coming up to having 4, 5, 6 runs, and normally your horse might only have 1 or 2, take it home for a little bit of maintenance, and again, you can tell me in dressage that's something similar. It's very hard to show a horse over and over again, and at the same time, I think that's when the champions rise to the top.
Totally. Yeah.
So again, we're going to have a look now when it comes to our winning run, and we've talked about him a lot.
To see this in the camp.
Yep, and we watch it live.
Is he a specialist in the camp a little bit more?
Well, he does a lot of cutting in Hugh Miles, and that's what he wants to go home and work his horses. He's got the biggest event in their cutting calendar in the NCHA Futurity, and he didn't stay in there very long. He kept the cow moving, and this cow, I reckon about now, he realises as he starts to close up this second peg that he's got a really nice running Hereford, and a lot of people can win this draft, but you need the cattle. And so he's picked this beast, and he's really attacking it. And I reckon on those other horses, like I said, that he's had to pull up on, and he saved them, that he didn't have the cow, but it didn't worry him. And right now he's gone. This is his third run for the day.
So fancy.
And he has two more runs left, but he's put such a good score on the board, he can sort of breathe easy. And he also picked up a couple of other placings as well to go home with.
It was just beautiful, wasn't it? Just so...
effortless is probably a word I'd use.
Like the communication with all of them is incredible. And to pick the right beast that's going to travel and keep moving forward, and he can do something with it, and he keeps it moving forward all the time.
Yeah, and in our
it blows me away.
In our sport of camp drafting, there isn't really points on the rider's presentation at all. It's all about the cow and horse. But these judges, when I interviewed them earlier, did speak about they were looking for a horse that looked like it wanted to do its job.
It did.
And it was doing it by itself. Yep. And it was soft to do it in. And that's why I think Huey has had such an exceptional weekend.
It was fantastic.
That is probably his MO. Like, as a rider, he never uses all 100% of the horse. Like, even there, you could watch Huey Miles. There was still more left in the tank. He's never gassing him. He's always thinking about tomorrow. He's a great horseman. And like I said, he's got to go back now and start dialing into cutting, because he's going to be at the cutting next week. I can't believe those
horses are so fantastic. They're just like, the rider, they don't really use a leg and a rein and this and that. They just look where they're going, and the horses absolutely follow where they're looking. We got a lot to learn.
I don't know about that. I mean, dressage is one of the oldest disciplines, or the oldest discipline.
Well, it's all the same, but just in a slightly different way.
Yeah, and when you watch anybody do their craft or their sport in equestrian at the top of the game, it is something to appreciate. And I think that's what, and yourself being a good horseman, what you understand is you know how hard it is. You don't look at this and go, oh, that's easy. You look at it and go, there's hours of dedication.
They make it look effortless, and that's what every sport, whether it's show jumping, eventing, dressage, and camp drafting, if it looks easy, then they've done their job, and those horses want to do it.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to wrap up our daily wrap-up. Thank you, Roger, for your time.
Thank you for inviting me. I love it.
Again, people at home, I just literally roped him in. This was not pre-planned, but he's a great sport. I want to finish off by saying there still is the Ringers Western promo. So for anybody watching at home, if you want to do a little bit of online shopping, go onto the Ringers Western website and then punch in the promo code Willinga Park, all uppercase 25, and you can get 25% off your shopping cart. I reckon that's a great deal.
I might do that.
That's a great shop. We're going to finish off with our interview with Hugh Miles, the winner of the 2025 Ringers Western Gold Buckle Campdraft Championship, and you can hear what Hugh has to say about the win.
One thing I've got to say is that if you guys out there have never been to Willinga Park, hurry up. It's the most internationally beautiful property for equestrian sports you'll ever see. And thank God for Terry Snow, who put so much time and effort into producing something. He would be delighted. He just wanted to produce a property where horse people could come and enjoy it, and it would be the very best, and I feel proud to compete here. And every one of those riders said the same thing. If you haven't been here, get down here.
And I'll add to that, knowing that I've been down here myself multiple times.
From the opening.
Too many times to count, but every time you arrive at Willinga Park, it takes your breath away.
It does.
And you just can't imagine how great it is being down here in this atmosphere here at Willinga Park for the 2025 Ringers Western Gold Buckle Campdraft Championship.
Well, yeah, it's pretty surreal. I didn't ever think this day was going to happen. We came close a few times, and I've been pipped to the post, so I was sweating it out at the end, I can tell you.
I did notice that there was a few people trying to congratulate you a little bit early, and you wouldn't take it. You were pushing them away. You were waiting to the end, but now, really tell me, how does it feel? Because I know you come close. What's that emotion like?
Oh, big events like this is what we dream of, as kids growing up and amongst your mates, and and a win on a stage like this, and in a prestigious event like that, like this. There's so many events we have, we always want to tick off and tick boxes, and this is, by far, the one I wanted to tick off. We don't know, we don't know how long we'll be able to keep doing it for, so it's one of those ones we want to, tick off the bucket list. But it's pretty surreal. It's pretty unreal.
Well, you've done it now. Tell us about the horse you're riding.
She's an Irish. She's a mare of Liz and Terry Smith's from Scone, and I only got her just before Cuba the other day. They dropped her off when I was coming home from some pre-works in Queensland, and they dropped her off, so I've only had her for about 3 weeks, and I don't mind her. She's all right.
well, I bet you they don't mind you riding her either, by the chance. I think you might get another shot. You took 5 back. I think your lowest 2 scores were 89.5. You were on 90s.5 on the other 3. It was incredible. But on those other horses, a couple of little things didn't go their way. You pulled up on the first peg, I think, on your first run, etc., etc. What's that like as far as a psychological point of view?
Oh, you just put it behind you, and you just think about the next run, and I just wanted to try and put the biggest run I could together, and not just not have any caution. Just if it was going to come off, it was going to come off. And it had to. With the scores that are in there, you couldn't be cautious. You had to it was do or die. So I was like, well, if we cut them off, we cut them off. But we won't die wondering, that's for sure.
Yeah, and that certainly showed in that maturity. You've been here a lot, like you said. You've come second a couple of times, and now you've been able to take away that championship. Is there anyone out there you'd like to thank?
Oh, there's so many people I'd like to thank. I've got a massive crew of clients that have supported me for a very long time. I had clients of Peter and Carolyn Doonan. They've been clients of mine for a long time. I had 3 horses for them in the final, and without them I couldn't be doing what I'm doing, and all the other clients I've got, you know, I'm very fortunate. I'm one of the very fortunate ones. I have a very good crew of clients that support me and have for a long time and stuck with me, and I have an amazing crew of workers. Not all of them are here. They're at home as well, and a very good and a beautiful partner at home too that's been looking after things for me as well while I'm away. So without everybody behind me, I couldn't do what I do, that's for sure. My mum and my sister and you know, all their support, you know, this is for them too.
Absolutely, and I'm glad you mentioned your mum there, because I was going to just say you are a little bit of a mama's boy, as I've said before, and I know she'd be at home cheering you on. Last question before you get around, you know, these other riders and get ready for presentation. What's tonight look like?
Well, we packed as if we were going to head home to Workhorses tomorrow, so I think they've taken the keys out of the truck. We're going to stay. We'll probably won't get out of here tonight now. I don't think, maybe the morning.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the 2025 Ringers Western Gold Buckle Campdraft Champion. Congratulations to you.